Okay, so here we are up on the top level. I did take a 6x2 piece of 1/2 inch plywood. I've raised it up with some 2x4s. You can see I've had to leave out a little notch there because that piece of wood coming out supports the top and makes sure that this part here does not bow down. It stays flat. Now, obviously, if I'm putting tracks on top of that, I won't be able to get to the wire because it's all covered in. So I didn't do a 2x4 on this side. This is a 1.5 by 3/4 strip that I put end to end there. And I'm able to reach in there and do any wiring, pull the wiring forward basically. And then I'll be able to cover that in with fascia and more land here. Here's another view of that platform. I needed to raise it up a good 4 inches. So that's the 4 inches plus the thickness of, the 1/2 inch ply. So basically this here will be the same height as this right here. So when the tracks come off, it'll come around. Those tracks will be underneath and they'll come up here. And I've got a lot of area here to cover, and this will all be ethanol. Very nice. This is part of my ethanol kit, and this is actually 2 buildings. There's this one here, which I believe that this is just the processing factory. And these are the tanks that you can get with another building there. And they act actually as one building. So I'm going to take you through my process here because I'm going to be adding most of my ethanol kits to the layout very, very soon. So it's already painted, as you can see, but I'm going to weather it. And there's a few detail pieces that I still need to add. Also, it's on a giant foam board. So I'm going to take you through this process here. So this foam board here, I got it from the dollar store. It's only about $1.50, $1.75 each, and it is black. Basically, what I'll be able to do is glue every single one of these pieces to it, and that way I can remove the whole thing or add it if, I'll be able to remove it if I ever take the layout apart. Right now, everything is separate, but I need it all to act as one unit. So I'm going to trace out a section on the foam here, and I'm going to cut it out, and then I'm going to paint it brown, and then I'll be able to use white glue and tack all these buildings in place. So rewinding a little bit here, in the last shots, you didn't see it weathered at all. But near the end of the month, I did a live on a Wednesday where I basically weathered the building itself. And I added a lot of detail parts. And I did some more work on more detail parts. But at the end of the month, where it was a Third Rail Thursday, I actually show gluing it all together and whatnot. So if you missed it, go back and watch. But here's what it looks like now. All right, so we're back up at the top level here on the layout. You can see this is where the two bridges come off, and it's gonna continue on down the main line. We've got a switch there. I believe that's a number 6. It's either a number 5 or a number 6. I wanna say 6, but who knows? Basically, right now, I'm trying to create the bridging or tunneling at the same time, where the tracks down there go under all of this and then go around. And at the same time, I got to cover it over using plywood and whatnot so that it connects with my ethanol station here. So I've got my lumber, this is 1/2 inch ply, and because it was a couple of pieces that I had to cut to make this whole roundabout here, just using up scrap wood, it's kind of janky in the sense where it's not a smooth curve, so I had to cut this out in a weird kind of pattern here. I've supported it by attaching these little pieces from the underside, and this will hold this up and it'll connect it, making one piece. And I've got another one right up there as well. And then I've got a 2x4 here that is the height that I need it at. So it's a scrap piece, but it holds it in place. This piece here, which was a 2 foot by 4 foot, I lined it up here and I cut the curve to go with the backdrop because I don't want to move the backdrop there. And this will basically go right over top. I don't know if I can do this with one hand or not, but we're gonna try. And it's gonna sit right up on there, and it's gonna connect, and then it goes right around. And look how close I am, guys. I'm super close. And that train that goes underneath here will not hit this piece of wood. It's at the same height all the way around. And then I'll just add detail and scenery on top of it. You won't even know where that train is going or where it's coming from. I mean, I will, because it's literally like right over there. But still, to the eye, it's, you know, leaving one scene and entering another. So that's really neat. Now, if you're worried about access, because this is a pretty big piece, see this hole here in the benchwork? If something was to derail, if something was to derail, now keeping in mind this is my height right now, so I can basically reach in underneath and I can grab whatever. If it's on this side, I've got a piece here where I can reach in and grab it, but at the same time there's going to be fascia covering this, so you won't see any of this hole at all, right? This is all going to be covered over. So very convenient in that sense, where I still have access to that track, no worries. But I mean, my track work is pretty good anyways, so I don't think that there will be any major issues under there. Now, before I put any of this in place, I do need to run a second line here. I need to get rid of that number 7 that's right there, and then I have to add a number 7 over here. So I want to put the number 7 here instead of right there. So we're gonna do that next. So while I'm waiting for that cork and switch to arrive, I thought I'd go ahead and just make sure that this section is good. It's still removable. I added some ports underneath, and again, this is all gonna get blocked off here, and we're gonna have the ability to still reach in there and grab cars if they do derail. Those are my auto racks, or a couple of them anyways. You can see the clearance there. There's quite a bit still. I think there's like another inch to that, but these are the tallest cars I have. Even my Go equipment is much shorter than that, so no worries there. I don't have double stacks, but some of my friends will bring double stacks by. I'm hoping they still fit. Should be good though, but we'll have to test some of that out eventually. So this is all in place right here. This is the upper level. It looks very flat, I know, but we'll correct that once we get the track down and we start doing more scenery. And I gotta order these backdrops too. I need 2 more sets that I need to order from overseas, and they will finish this entire thing off. And then I can get a better visual on how this is going to look. But it should be a continuation of that long poster there. And I think it'll be 20 feet that's coming, but I think I only need about 15 feet. So not bad, right? But yeah, I might have a little bit left over. I'm still working down this way. I've got another 2 foot by 4 foot piece that I'll be able to get in here. But before I do that, I want to make sure that the track is down and whatnot in this area. Because it does involve adding a tunnel, I want to make sure that everything here is perfect before I continue on with it. So let's take a look at a few other things on the layout that I've been working on, and then we'll wrap it up. March was my last update, and in that update I spoke with you guys about this area in particular, which has been neglected by yours truly. And I really wanted to revamp this whole section. So I did remove the buildings from here, and I removed a lot of the track. You can see that the ladder from up here, and I'll just move these down. This entire ladder that started, well, it starts there, comes up this way, and it went all the way to here. So that ladder has been completely removed. I also had a smaller ladder that started right here and went up. You can kind of see where the track was by the spray paint there. So both were removed. I left this here. I didn't touch these 2 tracks at all, and this switch. So after removing this here, the switch, I put in a piece of track to basically fill that in right from here. So it goes right up and then it splits into 2. No change there. But I'm kind of bridging this gap here with some cork. It's all the same height, and once I ballast it and whatnot, you're not even going to notice that it's 2 sections. It's going to look like one long section here. So I've already ran 2 tracks right from here. The switches, right? Like none of this has changed except I've added more switch machines. So this entire side is powered, and I'm able, well, the power's not on right now, but all of these work, which is great. And they're all going to go right up, and I'm going to add another 2 here, which is good. And this here, this still connects to that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove that switch, and I'm going to put this basically here, and I'm going to go straight forward, and then this will also go up into that switch there. So for this section, that's just what I'm going to do. That's what I've been working on. Now for the group build that we just started, like on the 30th, that 30 or 130 foot 2-bay diesel house or storage shed, it's going to go here, and I'm going to do a couple other things with it. And that's why not much else has been touched with this since I did these first 4 tracks, because I do want to incorporate that shed over here, and that's where I'm going to put it. As for all this other stuff here, I haven't really touched any of it. I really need to take a vacuum to it. And you'll see a lot of hanging wires as well. These are all LEDs for the Just Plug system. Let's take a look at that, because I've added a whole bunch. I don't have all the hubs yet, but I'll let you know exactly why those are all hanging down there. So we're going to start in this general area. I think this would be a good place to start. We're going to go left to right. So you'll notice this is all painted, and the road is also all painted except for the lines and the striping. But for the sidewalk stuff, I found a really nice color in spray paint. It's the brand name, I can't remember the brand name, but it's a series called Chalked. And it gives you the dullest color imaginable. And this is a very, very dull gray. Now I'm gonna go over it and I'm gonna weather it still, but it does not shine at all. It's super flat. I've never seen anything in a spray can that flat before, so I wanted to try it out. Yeah, it's really nice. And I was able to do all of this. I did all this area here with the grayish concrete color. So it works. Now, buildings like this here, it is not glued down, but you'll notice I have a light in there. It does light up, and it's more or less in place. I added the little train store sign, but I'm going to add more details to it later. I just want to get everything in place first, and then I'll go back and I'll add little detail pieces to it later. I added graffiti to the side of this building here, which I still need to do a bit of weathering to, but that is just how I started this one here. And as we're moving along, now there's no lights in here though, but you'll notice that I've got these little lamp posts, and they light up, they work. Does it? Oh yeah, so when I turn it on, the little lamp posts turn on, the hobby store turns on, the lamppost, the tunnel, the building back there, and one part of the station platform lights up. Very cool. Coming to this side, you'll see that I've been working on these two kits the most the last couple of months in the Sunday Brunch kit builds. It's really coming together, and I really like how they look. Even got graffiti going down the alley there, and we're going to add more weathering to that. And then we come over here to a large parking lot, a huge retaining wall, and it was suggested to me that I put a DQ in this section here because it's a giant open area here. So I haven't fully decided how I'm doing this yet. There's a concrete piece there, but I just wanted to see how I could actually incorporate this so that I can have like maybe a drive-through and maybe some trees going around this or something. I don't know, but I might just do that because there's enough room behind here where I can, you know, have the cars go back, place their order, they come around to this side, they grab it from the window, and then they come out this way here, and then obviously it's off the layout, but yeah, they would exit the Dairy Queen that way. And then I can always put the DQ sign right here, something like that. Again, haven't fully decided, but that seems like a good idea, and I don't have to spend extra money because I already have the kit. So that very well might be the plan for there. But we'll see what happens. Speaking of this area though, you'll notice, and I'm just going to move this out of the way so you can get a better look. I've added more land here, and I continued on this retaining wall, and I did a bit of painting. Obviously the railing is blue. I'm going to paint this all brown in here, and then I'm going to add trees and bushes in there just to kind of hide, you know, and add some extra type of scenery. So there's that. I do have a plan for this parking lot here. I won't tell you yet because that's a surprise, but yeah, look forward to that. I'm going to be adding a major bridge over this section here, but obviously I don't have all the parts yet, so we'll see that in due time, but it'll be nice to have a giant bridge here, kind of capping one scene and then entering another scene, which will be this section here. I did find my loading and unloading racks for tank cars, so I'm going to do like a truck or a rail to truck transfer for ethanol and gasoline. So that'll be this section here. And yes, it is kind of separate from the city, which is good. And it'll be divided up by this highway overpass here, which is also good. There's no direct truck access here via the downtown. You'd have to go around and whatnot. But yeah, that's something else that I've been working on. And of course, getting a lot of the ballast down in this area as well. Cars are hard at work, right? They're dropping ballast. So this whole thing is going to come together eventually once I finalize this entire section here and get those kits built as well. So that'll be good. So there you have it. I'm getting closer and closer to finishing a lot of these areas here. I'm still able to run trains through most of it, but I am doing a lot of work on the sidings as well. It's a lot of work. It's so much work, actually. But I feel like I'm about 80% ballasted on the middle level here. So I'm getting closer to finishing that. And then it's just greenery, right? Just adding little details and greenery and weathering where, you know, the main track works, trains come through and whatnot. As far as structures go, I do have to finish the train station, but that's, you know, that's for there, right? I'll get to it. It's a custom job, so it's, you know, it takes a little bit extra. And then, of course, other little scenes as well. I do want to make some more backdrop buildings for along here. And then, of course, just filling in gaps like this where it's like, well, what's going there? I don't know yet. Besides the bridge, of course. The bridge is going to go there. But yeah, I got to fill all that in. Again, custom work, so it does take a lot to, you know, complete stuff like that. And then, yeah, filling in with trees. I need so many trees, but we're getting there. We are totally getting there, and I'm having fun with it. That's the important part, right? So as I'm moving along here with it, getting stuff done, I'm still able to run trains, and you know, I'm able to try out certain sections, and I'm adding more track as we go, and of course, switching is a huge thing. We're going to be able to do some switching soon, which is awesome. I find that even running a train back and forth on here and moving cars around, I'm having fun just trying things like that and seeing what works, what doesn't, and then making any improvements to areas that need more TLC, more or less. But that's the update for May 2023. Come back next month because you know there's going to be more stuff to show you. And, well, maybe we can get another level done, possibly. Add another level. I think so. Well, we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.